Welcome back. I'm MTG Joe, and today we're going to be trying out another variation of Birthing Pod, aka Prime Speaker Vannifar, but this time a four-color variation, adding in white. So from the last video, the deck was pretty similar for a lot of the key stuff. We're looking to use Llanowar Elves to ramp out a Rhythm of the Wild on turn 2 ideally, and play Vannifar with haste on turn 3. We went down to 3 Rhythm of the Wilds to play 1 Domri. Want to try that out as she is giving Riot as well and can help us dig for some more creatures. The rest of the deck, we have 2 Kraul Harpooners to deal with flyers, a lot of mono blue, 2 Merfolk Branchwalkers just as an enter the battlefield effect to try to draw some lands. Krasis, as I mentioned in the last build, doesn't really play well with Prime Speaker in the terms of potting, but it's too good of a card not to play. It helps us draw into more creatures and gains us some life as well. 1 Exclusion Mage to bounce. 3 Elvish Rejuvenators down from 4. So this is basically just a card to get us a land, ramp us ahead, and then we sack it for one of our 4-drops. So cut one of them for a Jadelight Ranger. It's just a little bit more efficient in terms of usually being either a 3-2 or 4-3. Reclamation Sage got upgraded to Knight of Autumn. As mentioned, the Rhythm of the Wilds, which gives our creatures haste and uncounterable. Trying out a Shalai just as protection against like mono red. 2 Rekindling Phoenix, which is arguably the best card in the deck other than Prime Speaker. You can sack it for a 5-drop and then get back the next turn with haste. Trying out Conclave Cavalier as well. So it's another creature that it's a 4/4 for 4 with Vigilance, which isn't bad. And then when it dies, we get two 2/2s. Sorry about that. Tokens, so it leaves bodies behind after, which is what a lot of what we're trying to do with the deck. The double white might be difficult to cast. I think I'm playing 7 white sources in the deck, so it's going to be interesting as we test out a couple games whether or not this can actually serve its purpose. We have our main girl, Prime Speaker Vannifar. She's the one where we get to sack a creature other than her, and then we get to search our deck for any other creature that's 1 converted mana cost higher. So we have Domri as well that we're trying out. So for the pluses, we get Riot basically on a creature and ramp a mana. The minus is we get to look for some creatures, put it in our hand, and then if we can emblem her, it's at the beginning of our end step, we get a 4/4 beast. So our 5-drops is really what we're using Rekindling Phoenix to get. So we have 2 Siege Gang Commander, comes in and brings 3 bodies along with it, and his second ability can be used as removal. Skarrgan Hellkite, big dragon that if we put a 1/1 counter on it, can act as removal. And it's nice with a lot of the other Riot effects. You can stack Riot, so you can actually make it a 5/5 and give it haste. Biogenic Ooze is another one that we can just flood the board if need be. And now we have Trostani by playing white. This card here will bring along more bodies, plus power up our team, and if there's any sort of mind control effects, get it back. And then for our 6-drop, we have both a Dream Eater and a Ravager Wurm. This is just to deal with some troublesome permanents, and both are good threats on their own. So for the sideboard, let me show you this way. I have too many cards right now. Supposed to get rid of Lyras, not add Lyras. So we're going to try a couple one-ofs. Haven't given too much thought for the sideboard, so we'll figure this out as we go along, just what's needed from the deck. I wanted to ideally keep it as much creature-based as possible, just so we can keep with the theme. So we have Remorseful Cleric, which can exile all cards from the graveyard for something like a Sultai deck, so that they can't bring them back. Tithe Taker is just good against control or anything that's looking to play on their turn, even mono blue. Kraul Harpooner just to deal with all the flyers that are in the format, good against Izzet Phoenix, Izzet Drake, mono blue, Lyras. Chain Whirler for tokens, Lyra just for lifelink and a big body. Kraul Harpooner as a way to gain a lot of life with all the creatures dying. 3 Vivians versus control just to keep card draw going. Another Trostani is just a good creature. Carnage Tyrant versus control, and a couple Niv versus more of the combo decks or card draw decks. Like I said, the sideboard could probably use some work as we go along. but we'll take it for a couple matches. I wanted to pull out a best of 3 so we can start getting a feel for it. Sorry, switch modes. So we'll try it out a couple times before taking it to ranked. Just want to see if the mana is working out properly. But I've been having a lot of fun with the 3-color variant. If you have the cards, I would really suggest, even as long as you have the Vannifars, the rest of the cards you could kind of just slot in. That's the fun thing with pod decks, is if you have a pet card, you can always just kind of put them in as you go along. And just as we get started, just a reminder, if you haven't done so already, free and easy way to support the channel is by hitting the subscribe button in the bottom right. It costs you nothing and it goes a long way to help building out the channel. So this hand's pretty good. Double ramp, prime speaker on 3, and then we can get Trostani on 4. Kraul Harpooner is not bad, so we can double spell the next turn. We'll be keeping note as well how many times we miss a white drop. Okay, so this looks like Grixis perhaps. So here, Grixis, their main sweepers are Cryocranarium or Ritualist Soot. These are stuff that we can't really play around. So it's just about committing to the board. Here, we could have played Trostani, but I want to get Prime Speaker going. I want to just, against control, you want to put as much pressure as possible. So Krasis is another good card here. So here I'm going to play out the Trostani first. It gives us more power if we want to attack. Or at the very least it gets them to tap their mana down. So here we'll attack in with both. And I'm going to get most likely Knight of Autumn. Just to blow up the search for Azcanta. Keeping them off, like filtering their draws, is important for us here. We are missing another red source for Hellkite. So 2, so we can Krasis for 4 here. I feel like if they had a targeted removal spell, they might have already taken down Prime Speaker. Okay, there's our red source for Hellkite next turn, which is good. Gonna sack the Knight. I'm actually gonna get Shalai here to protect our other creatures. Grixis generally is more targeted removal. Their board wipes won't be able to get rid of our 4 converted mana cost. So this is a good way of threatening lethal next turn against them. So Ritual of Soot will get rid of 6 power, but we have Hellkite with haste, which is 4, 7, 9. Okay, so they're Lava Coiling Shalai. They'll take the Hellkite here. Which is fine, because we can Harpooner, or Rejuvenator, get a land, sack the Rejuvenator for Rekindling Phoenix. And then just attack in. That's just the residual insurance. If we had a way to give it haste. So this is Grixis, so they're likely to have flyers. Probably go up more Harpooners. Control, we probably want these as well instead of the Branchwalkers. Exclusion Mage in this matchup won't be good. Carnage Tyrant's very good. Want the Vivians. So we got 5 cuts. So Shalai's good. Knight of Autumn's fringe here, like you could hit a Scanta. It could also hit the Eldest Reborn, which could be good. Cavalier leaves some bodies behind, but I don't think we necessarily want to go that route. Trostani's not that good. Probably go down a Dream Eater. Couple more cuts. If we cut this in the 3 spot, we have 4, so we can get rid of the Jade Light. Probably just go down to 3 of these. I want to keep we ramp pretty well in this deck, so I want to keep our top end. The reason for not bringing in the Niv against Grixis is they have a lot of clean removal spells, whether it be 1-for-1 or just Eldest Reborn, and I don't want them to get a copy of our Niv Mizzet, because with all their spells it's quite good. So we'll run this back. I think this is probably the best. Same with like Lyra, there's a lot of ways for them to kill it. Eldest Reborn's very good against us, just in terms of getting creatures back. If we had a Llanowar Elf, I'd keep this hand. So we're on the draw. We need to hit running lands. I think we mulligan. We want to draw a green source, not the white source. So if we drew a green source here, the hand would have been nuts. I think if we don't draw a green source this turn, we'll just call it quits on this game. So they take the Vivian here. Okay, so we hit the green source. Let's get down the elf. Could get rhythm down next turn. Okay, so they take our rhythm. Let's see what we draw next turn, but pretty much out of gas already. And it gets a control deck. Not the best position to be in. Just play out the land like this. I still think it's right to keep that hand. It offered the most upside. See if we could draw out a counter spell. If this sticks, then we can apply a lot of pressure with upcoming creature draws. Okay, so they have the Sabotage. Keeps them off Chemister's Insight at least. It's a pretty good draw for us, gives us a lot of bodies that we can threaten. Right now the best thing they can get is Vivian, which for their deck isn't that good. At most they're probably playing a couple Nivs. So part of me wants to... Oh, well, they could just get the Siege Gang back next turn. So at least Shalai will make them have to use their mana to sack to kill it, the other goblins. The proper move for them is to take Siege Gang. It comes up the board and then can also threaten us quite quickly by taking down Shalai or any of our other creatures. So they take Vivian. Vivian could also down tick here on Shalai, but then immediately die. So we'll kill the Vivian just in case. We attack with all three here, just in case they have any spot removal. And we'll just play out our lands. They have discard in their deck. So if we draw like a Hydroid Krasis or something, it's not bad. Flipping a Scanta is pretty good for them. Okay, so they have the Niv. Okay, so it's not the worst position. They gotta draw quite a few cards. They can kill the Ooze. Okay. So they'll kill the Ooze, kill one of the goblins. This is part of the reason too why I like having creatures that create additional creatures. Just because a lot of what they're doing is spending multiple removal spells. Pretty aggressive if they don't have a follow-up. So I'm gonna attack first. And then play out the Tithe Taker. At the very least it gives us two bodies, and then on the back side it gives us something to block Niv, or it just has to make them target there. And the reason we attack first is because by playing out Tithe Taker, it incentivizes them to play the spell beforehand, which would then make them target one of our creatures. So they go to the face here. Cry's really good for them. They get in the damage. So Kraul Harpooner. Okay, Krasis isn't bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still too small to block Niv, but it gives us some life. Okay, drawing into another Krasis if we could start chaining them. So they can deal 3 to us. Probably looking for a removal spell. Lava Coil's really good here. So they can Lava Coil. That brings us down to 8. Attack, Chemister's Insight. Yeah, they got this one. So because we've seen the Cryocarnariums, the Tithe Takers aren't as good. So we brought in another Kraul, and I think we need probably... Do we bring in our own Niv, but then we're pretty high top end? Bring it on. Let's try bringing in our own Niv, see how it goes. We've shaved a lot of the 2 toughness creatures, so Cry really doesn't do as much against us, which is nice. We'll play first. Keep. So here, just attack for 1, and then next turn, depending what they show, I might just drop the Phoenix. It's the most pressure on the board. Ah. Let's see what they value the most here. I would take the Phoenix. But I wonder if they overvalue Vannifar here. Okay, no, they don't. They play that right. They discard their own Phoenix, which is interesting. So that suggests to me that they're low on mana. So next turn we can Krasis for 4. Hopefully draw into some more things to sack. So not worth sacking the Krasis just yet. Okay, so we drew the other land for Skarrgan Hellkite. So this can't get Kraul Harpooner. We can go to 3 drops, which can get us a land. We can get Exclusion Mage, which actually is pretty good. So here I'm going to give this a 1/1 counter. Just sack this, get we took out the Exclusion Mage. Let's just ramp then. Gives us more activations there. I want to get something that'll make tokens so that I could start the chain to get Kraul Harpooner. Not the best. Sack that there. Vivian's really good here. So we're gonna blow up the Eldest Reborn right now. No attacks. So we want to try to protect Vivian for a turn just to give us some card draw. If they want to use like Moment of Craving or something.
You can't stop nature.
I was hoping for a creature there. Disdainful Stroke's really good. So next turn they're going to be able to attack Vivian. We had our opening there to get rid of their Phoenix. More lands isn't great for us. Thief of Sanity's good. There's a lot of good hits for them in our deck. Okay, Elvish Rejuvenator is really good. So here, for the Rejuvenator, get out a Phoenix and put a 1/1 counter on it. So this allows us to keep blocking their flyers. They're just auto-erasuring for the scry. It's actually pretty good. They got rid of a counter spell. It's not going to do too much against us right now. Kraul Harpooner is really good. So here I can put a 1/1 counter on it and then have it fight the Thief of Sanity and still live afterwards. And then this can hold back the Phoenix. We'll sack the Phoenix here. Get Biogenic Ooze, put a counter on it. Make another Ooze token, and then we can just keep making Oozes each turn. Get back our Phoenix. So here I think we bait them into seeing if they want to block any of these. Oh, we actually had lethal. We should have just attacked. Mistake on my part. But we can just sack these siege gangs now. Doesn't get countered, and you lose the game. So pretty solid showing against Grixis. Let's take this maybe to traditional. See how it does there. So there's not really a way to recur stuff from the graveyard in this color, these colors. Flyers, we are okay. The counter magic, we had some stuff. So I think we try it again just to get an idea. So here we're just brainstorming to see how we do against certain like sideboarding options. So here we'll always play first. Hand's not bad. Branchwalker should help bridge us. Another land here is great. Ideally find a red source. So opponent probably thinks we're playing some sort of Bant variant. Okay, so the Sacred Foundry here is good. Radical Idea suggests it's a Phoenix deck. Here I'm just going to make this a 4/3. And then next turn we can play out Shalai. So they discovery here. They're just digging. But as they're digging, we'll keep advancing our board. So Shalai followed by Krasis. Rhythm's really good here too. Still think we just go Shalai and smash for 6. If we could win without showing them the red in our deck, could be interesting. Okay, here we'll attack in. Only draws us a card. Domri's pretty good here too. This Domri will be be short of mana. So we could play Domri, that's 4 mana, shock in, and play Rhythm. They have to block the Knight of Autumn, and then they go down to 1. That kills him. Give a haste, have a fight, and smash for the win. So taking down Phoenix pretty easy. So versus the Phoenix decks, I want Lyra, I want Vivians, I want the Kraul Harpooners, Exclusion Mage. Like it could bounce a big one. The Branchwalkers probably can be taken out. Jade Light can be taken out. Knight of Autumn. Actually, we'll keep Jade Light in. It could get to at least 4 power. Actually, Knight always gets to 4 power by choice. Probably take out Siege Gang. Take out 1. Take out Trostani. So for 4 drops right now, what do we have? We have the Phoenixes and Shalai. Yeah, probably take out the Cavalier. It's the hardest thing for us to catch. Like at least Exclusion Mage bounces. We need to find a better 4 drop for this deck. Like there is the option to just, I'm thinking maybe Sundering Champion. The 2 red, 2 green, when it attacks, if it deals combat damage, destroy an enchantment or an artifact. This hand is loose, but I think we try it. If they shock the elf on 1, we're in big trouble. So here we really need a land. Not a land. So I did, like, you don't really want to play your Harpooners out for no value. They can block Phoenixes pretty well, but like the Phoenix will just come back the following turn. It's really easy once this deck gets going. So they shock here. That's quite aggressive. And the lava coil. So here, just play the land tapped. We won't concede just yet. They haven't presented enough of a clock. Like they're hitting us for... Trancing Melody's also kind of loose in their deck. Like, our curve's quite all over the place. We literally have from 1 to 6. They kept it on top, both cards. Land one time. Hey. Perfect. So depending what they play out, if they play out a Drake next turn, I'll play out the Phoenix to block. If they don't really increase the clock at all, then I'll just play out Vannifar. So that way next turn we can Phoenix and then sack this for another Phoenix. There's also... Okay, so they play out the Drake here, so here I will play out the Phoenix. Just because now they can actually kill us. Regardless, we're dead to like a lava coil. But I don't think at this point we can really play around that. So they're probably trying to dig for something. Okay, so they get the lava coil, that gets the 6. We block here. Yeah, we're not coming back from this one. So we took a gamble with that opening hand. I think we're fine running this back. Actually, there is a play. Put in Niv instead of Siege Gang. Like, it could control some Phoenixes, but it's pretty heavy mana investment. And the ground tokens just get eaten up. At least Niv pings them if they try to go off to try to bring back Phoenixes. Play first. Keep. We're missing blue. Second Harpooner here is pretty good as well. They have their one of Blood Crypt. They lava coil here. So here I'm just going to play this out now. I don't want Llanowar to get hit. So this is perfect. It gives us red and blue. We can Vannifar next turn. And then we'll work our way to Shalai. Again, these are really aggressive lines from our opponent. We've shown that we've hit our mana every single like last game I could understand because we obviously missed. But we've hit all our mana on curve. We haven't missed a land drop. We've actually ramped ahead of them. And then like waiting a turn just to get the Kraul Harpooner. The body's a lot more relevant, and it gets in the way of their Phoenixes. Opponent's not about us having fun. So here, I'm gonna attack with the Harpooner. There's two reasons for this. They're unlikely to actually block with Electromancer. The card's worth more in play. Forces them to burn a spell, but this also makes this one now have one creature in the graveyard to deal 4 damage when it fights. And we'll bring out Lyra. The opponent's already burnt a Shock and a Lava Coil. We'll play out the Harpooner to take down the Drake. So it doesn't make much difference. It still has enough toughness. But I think just to be mana efficient, we play out Domri. Add the green mana. Have it fight the Drake. And then attack it with Lyra. So really want it like a land next turn, just a Krasis for more. But we can give the Krasis haste as well, and we threaten lethal if they don't have a flyer. Opponent's thinking. They really need like Lava Coil and Shock, and that's just dealing with the threat there, not about the Krasis, which will refill our hand next turn. They're 1 mana off from... Actually, they can Entrancing Malady. Okay. So they have Phoenix as a blocker, at least. So here... we'll block like this. If they have a shock and they're going to burn a shock there. Okay, that's actually a better line. Give it haste. And then just this makes our board the widest, so they can take down Domri, that's fine. But they need 2 spells to kill Lyra. This can just get large enough.
You haven't seen the last of me.
Do they have removal? A Lava Coil there. They need a flyer. Okay, so they have a Drake. So they effectively buy 1 more turn. They gotta block both dies. We play out Phoenix. Blocks their Arclight. This deck's actually surprisingly good. See what the opponent's gonna do. They're digging. I don't think they have much left for them. Okay, so Ral can tick down on Lyra.
Yep. Odds of victory look good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you can kill Lyra, but I have 2 lethals. You're dead. Opponent definitely believes in playing it out. Alright, and they concede. So taking down 2 top tier decks. Ranking up as well. So the deck seems pretty sweet so far. We'll jam some more games with it afterwards, just to see if it's for real or not. But let me know what you think in the comments below. if there's kind of any creatures I've missed in any of the spots. But hope you enjoy, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. It's a great way to support the channel and costs you absolutely nothing. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.